Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Xbox Casuals, the Xbox podcast. I'm your host, Corey Deering, and I am riding solo today because Josh had some mouth work done, and I didn't pull anybody in because I was super busy today. So I'm going to do my best to do this on my own. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode because I assume we're going to be doing an episode next week, but I wanted to get my thoughts out on the Xbox kind of partner showcase that happened today. Yesterday? Yeah, today's Thursday, right? It's still Thursday. Sorry, I just got done recording an episode of Tower Casuals, and I am trying to boost my spirits for a third show after this. So it's been a pretty crazy week, but I'm getting through it. So I've been trying to figure out how to kind of combine our efforts across all the podcasts and stuff that I do, and my teams do, and Josh and I do, and trying to find a nice little pathway to kind of keep these verticals under an umbrella. And so it's been busy, plus recording a bunch of other shows and having interviews and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I've been busy, and a bunch of interviews coming up with developers and a bunch of other podcasts, and keeping up with Destiny and other video games. It's been crazy. I've actually been pumping through my backlog a lot recently. But before we get into that, this is Xbox Casuals, your bi-weekly Xbox podcast where you can join the Tower Casuals Discord or the Boss Rush Network Discord, and you can hang out and talk about Xbox and all kinds of other games. We invite you to both Discords. Boss Rush Media is the umbrella over which Tower Casuals and Boss Rush Podcasts and the variety of podcasts live. And we kind of have three verticals going right now, and it's been really interesting to see how they've all evolved over the last 5 years. So yeah, join our Discords. All Xbox Casuals and Tower Casuals now live on bossrush.net and bossrushmedia.com, as well as the revamped towercasuals.com, which are all one website is fully up, which is bossrush.net, which is a lot more content there than just the podcast. So I would go check that out if you want to learn more about other video games, especially indies, which one of them we're going to talk about real soon. But also, Tower Casuals has kind of been dormant for a while, and I'm working on that. And then Boss Rush Media is where it's all going to live. All the podcasts are going to live. And it's been busy trying to organize all that and keep up with this, and also like life stuff, like living life, working, family, kids, all that stuff. And trying to figure out what to do with this dumb Patreon, because I don't want to under deliver and overpromise, and seeing if Tower Casuals and Xbox Casuals fit into the Boss Rush Network Patreon at all. And yeah, I'm trying. We're all trying. We're all trying to do our best, and just kind of wanted to plug all that because we don't usually plug that. I don't usually plug that stuff. All the other podcasts that I host, don't, the team that I work with on Boss Rush stuff don't really talk a lot about that on these shows. So just wanted to give them a shout out and a plug, and join us, if you will, on the Tower Casuals and Boss Rush Network Discords. Those invites go out all the time across social media. So yeah, Xbox Casuals has a Twitter account somewhere, I think. So yeah, that's the plug. As for what I've been playing, so I was playing Ghost of Tsushima, but my PS5 took another dump today, not today, yesterday. So it's out of commission. But I've been itching to play that type of game, like an Assassin's Creed style game. And Ghost was really scratching that itch. But now that I can't play it right now, I have been playing Assassin's Creed Origins actually. I was playing Odyssey, but then I went back to Origins because I've decided now if I follow through with this, who knows? But I've decided to go get all the achievements in the Assassin's Creed games. Um, so that's kind of what I'm doing. I almost have all of them in Origins and Odyssey. So uh, I'm going to try to get the last ones coming up. Uh, so I've been playing Origins. I've been playing Destiny. I played a little bit of Halo yesterday, actually. After we recorded our last episode of Xbox Casuals, I got like really excited for Halo, and so I played some matches of Halo Infinite. Gosh, man, Halo Infinite is still like it's like I think sometimes we get so caught up in the zeitgeist of these things, right? And like everybody's, oh, Halo Infinite's bad, oh, whatever, and it's like, okay, yeah, they didn't add stuff, and 343 had trouble keeping up with it, and with the changing of the guard now, and the studio name change and the things that are happening over there, I really feel like Halo's on the right track, and like playing Halo Infinite, I'm like, man, Halo is so fun. Like I forget how fun Halo is sometimes. Um, I do that like every 6 months. I'll jump into a couple matches of Halo. I'm like, man, I really used to love playing Halo, and this feels so good. Like I remember playing Halo 3 and uh with an ex-girlfriend and my other friends and stuff, and like I just remember those times, like, man, that was so fun and so good, and so many good times revolving around that game specifically. And um Halo Infinite feels really good to play, and my TV can handle the 120 hertz mode, and it runs. I mean, I was hitting like 122 to 125 frames. And I was like, oh man, I didn't even know that was even possible on an Xbox, but here we are. And it still looked great. I had that weird ray tracing thing on it. They have this weird, like, you can add ray tracing to 120 hertz mode, and I don't know if it really worked or not, but that game, say what you will about the Slipspace engine, but 343 really nailed the feel of Halo in Halo Infinite, and really enjoyed playing that multiplayer stuff. So I've been playing that. Let's see, Assassin's Creed Origins. I'm gonna go back to Assassin's Creed real quick. I don't really like the controls in Origins. Um, and I'm not talking about like the shoulder button attack stuff. Like it feels a little bit clunky, which is why I've been hesitant to play Valhalla, because I know it's that team, and I know that it's going to feel a little bit heavier. But playing going from Odyssey to Origins, it feels like, and I know it was two totally different teams that made those games, but it feels like two different teams made those games, you know. And I hope to be done with Origin sooner than later. Which I was looking at some of the achievements, and besides the DLC stuff, like the achievements I need to get are like really stupid. Like really stupid, seemingly easy achievements, hopefully. Um so I'm looking forward to doing all that. And I actually reinstalled the first game because I there are achievements I'm missing in that game, but I'm also like intrigued to go back and play the game in order, if that makes sense. At least up through what Syndicate, which obviously after that they became those like the open world RPGs, and I'm not putting 100 hours into Origins or Odyssey again. Um, so well, if I want story stuff, I'll just look it up. But I'm interested to go back to those games and see what classic Assassin's Creed was like and how it evolved over time. And I mean, I Assassin's Creed 1, like to 100% it is only like a 20-hour game. It's not very long at all. I don't think any of the 2 trilogy is longer than that. I think 3, up through 4, I think 3 is the longest, which at like 30 something hours. So I'm intrigued. I'm interested to go through and play those again. Um, what else did I play? Oh, I'm still on my Disney Dreamlight Valley kick, although this Star Path is not it's not interesting. I'm not gonna go through with this Star Path, which is like their equivalent to like a battle pass, in case you're wondering. What was the other thing I was playing? I was playing something else. What was I playing? I mean, Destiny, I guess. Oh, I've been playing Zelda on Switch, which Zelda's really good. I said this on the Boss Rush podcast, but I really feel like Zelda, for how much freedom you have in that game, ironically, feels super repetitive in a lot of ways. And I think I wonder if I'm having trouble trying to figure out if that's because I found echoes that I really like to use to solve puzzles, or if that's just the way the game is designed. Um, I really like the game. I really do, but I don't know. I was really high on it coming out of PAX when we got to play that stuff early, but now that I'm like kind of roughly 15 hours into the game, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I'm like struggling to want to go finish it. After like 45 minutes to an hour, I'm like, I want to go play something else, which is like not something I felt with Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, and even Skyward Sword HD to an extent. And I think I'm kind of chalking it up to like, I'm just not a top down 2D Zelda guy. I'm a 3D Zelda person. And I just, I have a really hard time getting into 2D games like across the board. Um, and that's just a me thing, right? That's not like a quality thing. I just, I don't know what it is. I just have a really hard time going backwards or back to 2D stuff. And I don't know. Hopefully sometime I will get back to that, right? But as for right now, I will be, you know, playing the 3D games. I actually want to go back and play Breath of the Wild really bad. So maybe I'll do that. I thought about playing through the 3D games actually, all the way through every single one. I just played Ocarina of Time for book club, but I like sprinted through it because you know that's just the nature of that show for video game book club for my other podcast, my Boss Rush podcast. But yeah, um I just there's something about the 2D games that I just can't do. So, I mean, I think that's why I put off Link's Awakening for so long. Even though I loved the original Link's Awakening and I love this one, I never felt compelled to keep playing. Like I would play up to a dungeon and then I would like stop and be like, okay, the next time I'll just play through the dungeon and then I'll stop, right? And then I would play through the dungeon and then I wouldn't feel compelled to keep playing in that playthrough or in that play session. So I would like put it down and play something else. And that process just kept repeating until I just kind of got bored, right? And so oh, that's where I'm at, right? So I'm actually been trying to find more open worldy type games to play, kind of like I mean, Ghost of Tsushima was really hitting that for me, but my PlayStation won't turn on. I gotta send it in again, and I think I might just if it comes back and it turns on, I'm just gonna go trade it in. I might just wait for a pro at this point. I wasn't gonna get a pro, but if it's gonna, you know, be better and turn on and do what I want it to do, then I might as well just get it, right? So, um, I can afford it, and yeah. Anyways, enough about what I'm playing, I guess. And I'm just having a really good time playing games and older games, I guess. The game I was actually looking at playing was Immortals: Phoenix Rising because I love Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it was made by that team, and it's kind of like a Breath of the Wild ripoff-y type game mixed with Assassin's Creed, and seems like a game that's right up my alley. Huh. Excuse me. Did not mean to do that. So that's something I've been looking at on Xbox. I'm not playing it on um not playing it on Switch. So even though I own it on Switch, that's my bad, right? So all right, let's talk about Xbox, everybody. Like I said, we're gonna just kind of run through the things that were announced at the partner preview showcase, and then we'll get out of here. There's a lot more Xbox news, but I think we're probably going to talk about that at a later date because, I want to talk about it with Josh and everything. So, yeah, I'm trying to see if there's really anything else unique to talk about here. Let's see. This isn't what I wanted. I wanted the Xbox Wire. Where is the Xbox Wire? Xbox Wire. That Call of Duty wrapping controller looks pretty cool, though. I will say that. I think that looks really cool. Let's see. ID at Xbox stuff. Let's see. Partner preview recap. So this today, actually, of this recording, the Xbox partner preview happened, and there's a lot of interesting stuff there, and we're just going to kind of go through it real quick. So the Remedy kicked everything off with Alan Wake 2's Lake House expansion, which I think is kind of Control themed. If you watch the trailer, right, they're obviously in the Federal Bureau of Control. There's a control agent kind of reading to you, right? And then actually it looks like Janina Gavankar is in this DLC, which you may know her from, if you're a TV fan, the shows like The League, or she was the main character in Star Wars Battlefront 2's campaign. She's been in a lot of stuff. She's pretty active. So I think you might actually be playing as her, maybe, it looks like a little bit. So that's cool. I know people really love Alan Wake 2. I really like Control. I hated playing when I played Alan Wake Remastered. I hated it to the point where I was like, I don't even want to play Alan Wake 2, which is fine. I don't need to play everything, and there are plenty of people out there that need to play everything. I don't feel like I need to. I'm not going to spend $60, $70 on a game that I'm going to play for like an hour just so I can have an opinion on it. Not going to do that. And we do get codes for games, but I usually give them to my writing team or podcast teams, because I don't want my opinion to be altered by a free code for a game. The only codes that I accepted are for Destiny, and that's because I'm a Bungie creator, and I feel like I've been pretty open about the things I don't care for Destiny, and they still care about our opinion over on Tower Casuals. So that's kind of the only exception I have. I mean, aside from like a couple other games that I know I'm not going to review or talk about, like I did get a code from Way Forward for Yars Rising, but I'm friends with them. Adam and James and Tom over there, and Chris. I'm not good friends with them, but we're friendly. We have a relationship, and so they give me codes for things that I'm grateful for, and I don't really talk about those games because of that. The Shantae games, those things. So but yeah, I know people are excited for the Lake House DLC. I know my co-hosts Stephanie and Pat are really looking forward to this. They are Alan Wake super fans, So I'm sure we'll be hearing about that in the coming weeks. That comes out on October 22nd. So I guess next Tuesday. And then let's see, is this in order? That's the question. I'm just gonna go how they're listed on the. Um, it looks like they are in order. It looks like they're in order. Uh, so, well, maybe they're not in order. I'm just gonna go with the order they're in on Xbox Wire. I do know it ended with. I think it ended with Firebreak, which is Remedy's multiplayer game, but we'll get there when we get there. The next game on this list, Animal Well, which is a kind of pixel art Metroidvania. Tell me where you've heard that before, but it's got a unique twist to it. We actually interviewed Billy Basso, the creator of Animal Well, over on the Boss Rush podcast, Boss Rush Plus podcast feed in particular, if you want to listen to that. He's a really interesting dude. He's very kind of down to earth, and this game has been very successful on other platforms other than Xbox. Obviously, it's just now coming to Xbox. I think it's out today as of this recording. It's very fun and interesting. I recommend people go look at it and play it. It is a beautiful game. It is beautifully crafted. And I think, Billy is a wonderful human being. And so I think you should just buy it to support him. But if you also enjoy good Metroidvanias, you should check out Animal Well. It's cool. Let's see. Blind Fire is the next game on this list. It's a first-person shooter set entirely in the dark. Let's see. Let's see what this trailer looks like. I kind of missed some of this stuff. I was kind of so yeah, like in the dark. Whoa. Okay. See, this type of thing would bother me. It's got the cyberpunky feel. It's coming to Xbox Game Preview. So this game's set entirely in the dark. It's got a lot of blacklight effects. It looks like I can't tell. It looks like it's a whoa, interesting. It looks like Ghost Runner. Actually, the characters in this game looks like Ghost Runner. It's let's see. Let's read this description. The most important tool in an FPS isn't your gun, it's your eyes. So what happens in an FPS set entirely in inky black arenas? Blind Fire is here to answer that question. The fascinating new idea from Double 11 got a world premiere and shadow drop during the partner preview, showing off how you need to use tools, traps, and echolocation to seek out your targets in this fast-paced shooter. It looks interesting. It's very cyberpunky, very full of neon and explosions and all that kind of stuff. It looks cool. It's out on Xbox Game Preview and Windows today through early access, so you can check that out now. The one of the other games that was announced today was Bloober Team's new IP called Chronos: The New Dawn. Is a mind-bending survival horror game from Bloober Team. Bloober Team just released the Silent Hill 2 remake. They also created The Medium and Layers of Fear is what they're most known for. I think they also made that Blair Witch game a few years ago. Bloober Team brought us this world premiere of a fascinating new game that takes us in a new direction for the studio. The third-person survival horror set across two distinct time periods. Chronos: The New Dawn introduced itself with an enticingly strange trailer involving a game of chess, a very big spacesuit, and some horrifying creatures. The game itself will take us both in the 1980s, communist Poland, in the futuristic wasteland following a pandemic known as the Change. A glimpse of gameplay showed us quite how spooky this is going to get, and we can't wait to see more. So if you're into survival horror games, that looks interesting. Eden's Zero is an anime action game coming to Xbox in 2025. All right, let's see. Let's see how weird this looks. Oh gosh. Okay, this. I don't know what to say. This looks like I don't even know what to tell you what this looks like. Just watch it for yourself. I'm sure someone's getting really angry at me right now, but that's fine. Based on the Hero Mashima manga and the anime series of the same name, Eden's Zero is a third-person action game that saw its world premiere during the show. Set in a unique sci-fi universe of the manga, you'll take Hero Shiki Granbell across the universe in search of a cosmic entity, Mother, gathering new characters, each with their own abilities. As you go, Eden Zero will be released in 2025. Cool. Eternal Strands. Let's see what this is. Oh my gosh, why are all these trailers so loud? Okay, so this game looks pretty cool. Let's see. So this is the game that everybody said looked like a better version of Immortals Phoenix Rising. Okay. Definitely want to keep an eye on this. I think this game looks really interesting. Sorry, I'm just watching the trailer. When I'm stopping, I'm watching the trailer, so I apologize, everybody. Combat looks interesting. Very colorful. Looks very Immortals mixed with Shadow of the Colossus almost. These are some giant enemies they're fighting. There's smaller enemies too, but I mean the massive bosses remind me of Shadow of the Colossus a little bit, especially because the character is climbing up one of them. So it looks cool though. I'll give it that. It's very colorful. I'm interested. I'm interested. It's coming to Game Pass also in 2025, so that'll be cool. All right, next on this list, Firebreak, the co-op Control spinoff. It's co-op, eh? I thought, okay. I thought they said it was like some sort of weird competitive thing. Maybe it's not. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so I think this takes place after Control. Remedy is known for its single-player masterpieces, but it's going in a different direction with FBC Firebreak. We brought you a world first look at the spinoff from the beloved Control, a first-person multiplayer PvE game, places you in the ranks of the Federal Bureau of Control's agents. Take on the horrors of the oldest house using a variety of appropriately weird weaponry in this exciting co-op experience. Firebreak arrives in 2025 and it's coming day one to Game Pass. Find out how Remedy's first multiplayer game. Okay, so interesting. First person. Man, their first person games always like throw me off. They did that Crossfire X game, the campaign for that, and I remember it not being very good. But I mean, maybe that's just because it was the IP. But whenever Remedy goes first person, it kind of throws me off a little bit. I really like their third person stuff, but we'll see. Anything Remedy does, I think, will be of high quality moving forward. I hope they don't mess this up, because it kind of just seems like Remedy's in trouble all the time, borrowing money, taking loans from Tencent and NetEase and making that deal with Epic. They still haven't made money from Alan Wake 2, by the way. Just pointing that out. Barely broke even on Control also. So you do the math, I guess. But they still have not broke. They still haven't made money on Alan Wake 2, which is crazy to think about. Which means that game did not do as well as everybody thinks and wants it to do. Maybe which is why Microsoft gave them the IP back, No offense, to Alan Wake, but I mean, Control didn't sell that well either, unfortunately. So, and Control's awesome. Control's much better than Alan Wake, in my opinion. Um, but I also thought Quantum Break was much better than Alan Wake, and that game just kind of crashed and burned too. So, what do I know? This next game I'm going to talk about, The Legend of Babu, looks awesome. So, this is published by Midwest Games, one of a newer publisher that I got to know at PAX East this year, run by ex Blizzard developer Ben Cavallo, and Larry Herb is a consultant over there, and they've just built a fantastic team over at Midwest Games. I'm actually really looking forward to one of the studios that they're publishing, Guiley Games. They're publishing a game called Rah Rah Boom. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up about teenage cheerleaders taking on aliens, which is cool. It's a really cool game. That's not the game I'm talking about, and we're going to talk about now. But I just wanted to shout out Midwest Games and Guiley Games in particular. They are the nicest people. So they're based out of Wisconsin. The Legend of Babu is in the world premiere. We introduced the Legend of Babu, an action adventure set across a magical island, sending a child hero Sapir into the fray with only their wits, weapons, and an absolutely gorgeous dog called Babu to protect them. And yes, you did see the dog being used as a mount. So I think this game looks cool. It looks beautiful. The color palette's cool. The combat looks, it kind of looks like. Let's see. It kind of looks like. I want to say Breath of the Wild meets something like in terms of the way it looks. I mean, Immortals Phoenix Rising is another game I want to say it looks like, but that game Oceanhorn that came out a few years ago, it was pretty big on Switch. I don't know how big it was on Xbox. I would actually be shocked if most of our audience even heard of Oceanhorn 2 specifically. But that's kind of what aesthetically it looks like. It looks like it looks like a Zelda game. So, and you can't get enough of those. Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii shows off its naval battles and gets a new release date. So it's releasing on February 21st, 2025. This was I know a lot of people were surprised that this was being announced. It is featuring it's featuring the fan favorite character Goro Majima, who a lot of people really love. He's the character with the eye patch and the giant dragon tattoo. I think from those games, I have played very little Yakuza, but I recognize this character. Very, very iconic character from that series. I don't know if you saw this character, you would know who it was. So starring that, I think I'm really glad that Yakuza has found a place. I'm really glad Sega is actually succeeding, right? I mean, Sega, between Yakuza and the success of Sonic recently, and obviously the Atlas stuff that they own, right? Like Sega's really found a place for themselves, and that makes me very, very happy. Growing up as a Sega kid, right, and really loving the Dreamcast and the Genesis, and not so much the Saturn, right, but the Dreamcast I really loved, and the Genesis was like my console for 5 years. It felt like until I got an N64. So, in this trailer, we got to see the game's exhilarating naval battles for the first time, where you take the helm of a ship, pirate-ridden waters before boarding and taking treasure-seeking rivals in an all-out brawls. And we even got a glimpse of battles in the pirate coliseum of a secret island hideout, Mad Atlantis. I see what you did there. Okay. All right. The next game is Mistfall Hunter. Fascinating mixture of Souls-like combat and extraction action mechanics. Mistfall Hunter got a world premiere in today's show, showing off a wealth of approaches from beefy warriors to spell-packed mages. This will pit you against monsters and men in a mysterious new fantasy world. Coming to Xbox and Windows, you can apply for the closed beta now. So it seems like a multiplayer experience. The trailer looks pretty, I'll just say, conceptual. There's not really a lot of gameplay in here. I mean, I guess towards the middle, there's a little bit of gameplay here. It looks very it looks like a Souls game. It looks a little faster paced than a Souls game. I'm gonna be honest with you. You can do the sword and shield thing, but there's double weapons, and this looks much faster paced than a Souls game. I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Man, that term Souls like is thrown around so much. I mean, not everything that's a third person action RPG is a Souls like, guys. Come on. Anyways, I could do a whole episode of the podcast based on the term Souls like and like what games are and aren't that use that topic. But anyways, just because it has big monsters and it's hard doesn't mean it's a Souls like. That's I'm just saying here, man. Like it doesn't have to be that. Mouse PI for Hire brings cartoon chaos to Xbox. So this was one of those games that was shown off right when Steamboat Willie went into the public domain. The Steamboat Willie version of Mickey Mouse. And this looks like so this is a first person shooter that takes those old school kind of, that Cuphead aesthetic, black and white version, like a 30s animation, first person shooter, and it looks interesting. I'm interested to see what this looks like. I don't really care about this game. It's animated wonderfully. It looks great, but I just, I honestly could care less, to be honest. And no, it's not because I'm a Disney fan and this is making fun of Disney very clearly, but I just, not super interested in it. So I also wasn't very interested in Cuphead. I thought it was amazingly animated, but playing it, I was just like, meh. I don't really need this. And then they showed off Phasmophobia, which is that long time kind of popular PC horror game that's coming out. Subnautica 2 enters early access in 2025, and I think that's going into Xbox Game Preview also. It's coming to Xbox, so you can check that out. Subnautica is like a underwater survival game, so I think that's available on Game Pass now. Actually, the first one. Wheel World is pedaling onto Game Pass. So Wheel World, let's watch this crazy trailer. I'm not 100%. So this game, I mean, this has an art aesthetic similar to like Sable, and it looks like Sable and Dungeons of Hinterberg mixed together, that art style. I like that aesthetic when it's, but like for me, and this is nothing against this game in particular. It could be amazing, right? But like this art style annoys me when it's not done perfectly. And that's just like the art major in me, I guess. But I just, the lighting is off, and then that just makes the colors look bland and flat. And that, like, when things look flat, it bothers me. And I'm not talking flat as like a flat texture. I'm talking flat as in just like kind of boring and no lighting and just kind of off in a way that is unpleasing to the eye. And this game kind of gives off those vibes. Granted, it's not done yet. It's coming next year. I hope they do something with the lighting. I had this problem actually with the recent Mario and Luigi game too, the Brothership RPG, until the last time I saw it, where it looks like they actually fixed all the problems that I had with it when they first showed it off. So I don't. Maybe it was just a weird trailer that we watched, but um, I had an issue with that too. Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. So this is the last game on this list. After a reveal at the Xbox Game Showcase earlier this year, we got a new look at Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, offering new hints to its dark fantasy storyline. Set in the late Ming Dynasty, the new trailer showed off a lot of action, including uh, multiple bosses, from a horrifying centipede monster to a woman who can transform into what appears to be a living scarf made from the skin of an Arctic fox. Uh, it's shaping up to be quite a journey. Wu Chang Fallen Feathers arrives in 2025. So overall, pretty decent partner showcase. Nothing super big here. Um, no major third party stuff here. I'm kind of surprised some stuff wasn't here. But again, uh, a lot of stuff is getting delayed, and a lot of stuff maybe that you would expect to be here. Like Call of Duty is owned by Xbox, which could have been here, right? At one point or another. Um, so I don't know. I feel like this is kind of empty, but also like you wanna show these smaller games the same respect that you would show AAA's too. So I understand. I like when a company like Nintendo does it where they mix the smaller games in with the larger games, so they feel like all the games are being treated equally instead of like separated, right? And so I think I let's see, the games I would recommend. I mean, Animal Well obviously I think is a surefire game that Xbox fans will like. Alan Wake: The Lake House. If you're an Alan Wake fan, I think that's a no brainer too. I'm not a survival horror person, so I'm not going to recommend Chronos. Eternal Strands looks really colorful and cool, and I think I am going to check that out when it comes to Game Pass next year. Did they confirm? Yeah, Game Pass next year. The Legend of Babu looks really awesome too. I'm going to be checking that out for sure. Uh, I know a lot of people like Yakuza, so the pirate game looks cool. Check that out, I guess. And I mean, I guess the Wu Chang Fallen Feathers looks interesting. I think this is one of those China Hero Project games. I don't know if that's a PlayStation specific thing, but um, there's a lot of developers coming out of China now that are developing great games. I mean, look at uh, Wulong Fallen Dynasty, right? Like that game did amazingly well. And despite what you think of China's government or you know whatever they are, uh, I don't want to take that away from the people of the country, and I think they're doing some great work over there. And um, I hope all these games succeed that come out from over there. So, but that was the Xbox Partner Showcase. Let's see, is there anything else I would like to touch on before we get out of here? Um, just scrolling down through the list here. So if you're a Game Pass member, you get a sale this week. Do, do, do. Um, let's see. There's the new wraps for the Call of Duty stuff, right? The Black Ops 6 Xbox accessories are coming, which looks cool. I think I'm looking. Sorry, this is oh right. So right. So the Darksiders games are being remastered for Xbox Series X and S. And if you own those games already, you're going to get that for free, it looks like. So that's a good move. Let's see here. The new Xbox Series X's are out, and apparently the parts in them make the consoles more efficient. So that's the white diskless one and the 2 terabyte disk version. I would really like to get that 2 terabyte disk version. I really like the controller. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else worth talking about. Oh man, my eyes burn. You ever get so tired that your eyes just burn? So, uh, so Project 007. Okay, so IO Interactive, if you don't remember, is developing that Project 007 uh, game, and so they're hiring up. They're going for. Uh, they're going for an origin story. So you're making what, Casino Royale? Is that what you're making? I'm really tired of origin stories, man. Like James Bond has been around for 60 years. We know who he is. You don't need an origin story. I'm sorry. I'm really looking forward to this game. I'm a pretty big Bond fan. Um but like you don't need a origin story, and they came out and kind of said that they are really hoping that this turns into a big new trilogy for them. Okay, that's fine. Uh they are going to craft a young Bond that gamers can apparently call their own and grow alongside of. Great. Uh, you know why they're making their own Bond? Because they haven't cast a new one yet. So that's why they're making their own Bond. Let me tell you, this Bond is going to look like a generic white dude with brown hair and British accent. I'm with all that said, I don't mean to trash their project. I think I'm really actually very excited. I think IO is actually the perfect developer for a Bond game, like a real Bond game with gadgets and sneaking around and not just making a first person shooter. I mean, we always think of Bond as the first person shooter, right? Of GoldenEye and the Xbox original Xbox era games with Agent Under Fire and Nightfire, and From Russia with Love was a third person shooter, but it was still a third person shooter. I think Tomorrow Never Dies on PlayStation was a third person shooter also, but uh, and then there was 007 Racing, which wasn't even a racing game. It was just car combat missions, which was fine. It was cool. It was an interesting idea. Um, but I hope this is good because uh, I think IO is perfect for it. So, but I think that's gonna do it. I don't think there's anything else I really need to talk about right now because we're gonna talk a lot next week about stuff. Um, yeah, that's it. That's gonna be it. So I will end it there. I want to thank everybody for watching this episode of Xbox Casuals. Join the Tower Casuals Discord. Join the Boss Rush Discord. Check out our other podcasts, Tower Casuals, the Boss Rush podcast. Check out Boss Rush Plus for interviews with developers and Video Game Book Club and all these other side things that we're doing. Nintendo Pow Block is my Nintendo podcast. You can check out. After Dark is available. We're kind of reworking that format. So, but there's 125 episodes that you can go back and listen to. So you can go listen to that if you want. Anything's on the table. It's really, don't listen to it around your kids or anybody that you care about. I'll just put it that way. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching and are listening to this episode of Xbox Casuals. You can follow Josh at Josh_Finn with 2 N's. You can follow me at I am Corey in HD. Follow at Tower Casuals, at Boss Rush Podcast, at Boss Rush Network. And we will see you next time. Goodbye.